Shalom Bachram, good evening. And I was here like a year ago. At some point I had spoken. You fellows were here then, or this new oil? Chatzi.
Whoever was here before.
Because the truth is that I tried to remember what we spoke about, and I cannot remember what I spoke about. So hopefully, if I don't remember, and I say the same thing,
Rabbi, they say.
Elena Shabbat.
so hopefully you don't remember either. I spoke about Elena when I was here.
Yeah. That was about you. No, yeah, the friend. Oh, it's a kill thing. Okay.
Okay. So there's no choice in the matter, as much as whatever we'd like to do it to say. But we're holding very close to Rosh Hashanah, very close to the Yom Adin. So there's no way that it's not what we're going to talk about. I was in the house, so we learned Shabbos in the morning, Kids Shulchan Aruch by the table. And in the beginning of the year, we start off in the beginning of Kids Shulchan Aruch. The beginning of the year means after Sukkot. And during the year, we learn different things that are shaykh to the time of the year. So Rosh Chodesh Elul, we always start off with the Kids Shulchan Aruch and the halachas of Rosh Chodesh Elul. So right in the beginning of the halachas, the Mechaber of the Kids Shulchan Aruch writes that from Rosh Chodesh Elul and on, if you write a letter to your friend, you must mention somewhere in the letter, in the beginning or at the end, Ben Shemam, a good Yorish, V'zeichim D'Yom Adin. This is what he says. And we always say by the table, and the reason is because if someone has something important coming up, when it gets close, he talks about it. Someone's getting married in a couple of weeks, he writes his friend a letter, he writes in the letter, my chassan is in 3 weeks. So when it comes to Rosh Chodesh Elul, how can a Yid not mention Rosh Hashanah when he's conversing, when he's talking to somebody else? It's an impossibility. So obviously that's what's on our mind, and that's what we have to talk about a little bit. I want to tell you, first of all, something that gives us a lot of chizuk. It gives me chizuk when I think about it. And if you've never heard this, it's important to know. The Welt has a kasha. How is the Mashiach going to come? The Tanoim didn't bring Mashiach. The Rishonim didn't bring Mashiach. The Vilna Gaon didn't bring Mashiach. Rabbi didn't bring Mashiach. There were generations that were much greater than ours. How are we going to bring Mashiach? And it's something that Chofetz Chaim used to talk about. They say that this is a true story. The Chofetz Chaim came home one day and he called together his family and he said to them, Kinder, I want to tell you that I understand how Mashiach is going to come. And the Chofetz Chaim said the following thing. He had met a Yid, the Chofetz Chaim, was the one, Shmiras HaLashon. Chofetz Chaim was a talker. He was very talkative, he was very friendly, and he always spoke to people. He wasn't silent because he was Nizin Shmiras HaLashon. He spoke and he spoke and he spoke, and he knew how to speak. So the Chofetz Chaim met a Yid, and he said, Basmachta, how are you doing? What do you do? So the man says, I'm a wheat dealer, I deal in wheat. And the Chofetz Chaim said, how's the panasa? So he said, it's difficult. No, and the Chofetz Chaim spoke to him, and he felt for him, and so on. A few years later, he met the same man again, and he remembered him, and the Chofetz Chaim said to him, and how's panasa? So the man said, it's marvelous. I make so much money, and my business is easy. It's wonderful. So the Chofetz Chaim said to this fellow, I don't understand you. I met you last time, it was peaceful in the world, and so on, and you couldn't make a living. And the second time he met the man, it was during World War I. There was hunger, and everything was war effort. Like everything in the country, in Russia, closed down because everything was busy with the war. And there was no machinery to plow, there was nothing doing. So the Chaim said to him, if in peaceful times you couldn't make a living, now you're making a living. So the man said, Rebbe, let me explain to you business a little bit. And he said to the Chofetz Chaim that when I used to come into the marketplace with a wagon full of healthy, beautiful wheat, and I'd offer a price, but the fellow in the next stall, in the next booth, would say, yeah, but I'll give you a drop cheaper, and maybe mine is better. And by the time it finished, between the couple of dealers that were there, none of us could make a living. And it was very tough. Now he said to the Chofetz Chaim, during World War I, there's a hunger, and there's hardly anything available. So when I come to the market, when they hear my wheels screeching a half a mile before I get to the market, they're chasing me and they're begging me. And one fellow says, I need so much, I'll pay you this. And the next fellow screams, but I'll pay you a little more. Because everyone is desperate for my wheat. And it's black, and it's old, and it's moldy, and it's not good wheat. But I have something that everybody needs, and there's very little available. So I make a lot of money. This is what the Yid told the Chofetz Chaim. The Chofetz Chaim came home, and he gave a clap on his table at home. And he said to his family, in Himmel is a hunger. In Shemayim there's a hunger taking place. Can you imagine a Tana and a Moira got up and started davening? Can you imagine what that tefillah was like? Can you imagine the Rambam daven? Can you imagine what the Vilna Goyen, what it was like when the Baal Shem Tov davened, what it was like? But the Chofetz Chaim said in his generation, 100 years ago, how much could we daven? How much kavanah could we have? It's so difficult for us. In Shemayim, there's a hunger. There's a hunger for a Yiddish word. There's a hunger for someone to say the words of davening. There's a hunger for someone to have any which amount of kavanah, of feeling to Hashem when he's davening. And when the little bit comes in Shemayim, there's such a grab for it that the Rabbi Shloim pays a tremendous amount. So the Chofetz Chaim said to his family, due to the situation of the world, when the Yid serves Hashem today, so much less, and even though it's not nearly as pure and as great as it used to be, is worth so much more than it was in the earlier generations. So according to the value, the Chofetz Chaim says, yes, Mashiach can come based on the efforts that we're going to put in. I once heard from my Rabbi, Rabbi Segel, an unbelievable thing, but I'm telling you, he said this to us. You know, Reb Chatzkel, you heard of a Mashgiach in Panevet. He was the real symbol of a Mashgiach, of a Litvak. He never smiled. He was very, very serious. And Reb Chatzkel told Reb Segel that Heinte, the best at sight, this is 40, 50 years ago, we live in the best generation. Because if you're not so good, how much could you demand from somebody? And if you're a little bit good already, oh, is it worth? It's worth so much, it's worth so much. So this, to me, the truth is, Bachram, I feel uncomfortable. I'm going to talk to you about Rosh Hashanah. I have a shaykhis to talk to you about Rosh Hashanah. There's so much avoid we have to put in. I'm really talking to myself. The little bit work that we're going to do, the little bit feeling that we can put in, is worth an incredible amount. Everything is judged according to where we are, who we are, how we are, what kind of a world we're living in. If on a Thursday night I can come in here and you fellas are sitting like this, yeshiva bachrim, look, beautiful faces, look at you sitting over here. You know what it's worth? You know what it's worth? You know what a minute of a percent you are compared to Jews at large, compared to the world? So this that we're sitting over here, you learn, you daven Ma'ariv, you're sitting around and eating cholent and you're listening to the Bar Hashem. It's an incredible, incredible thing. The only way to come to Rosh Hashanah is we have to realize the incredible value that we have. And the little bit that we could do, and every little bit extra that a person can do, has a tremendous, tremendous impact. I want to tell you a secret that I use all the time. I say to myself, I'm not chopped liver. That's what I say to myself. I'm not chopped liver. And let me explain myself to you. It's an expression when you're having an issue with somebody and the guy's getting the better of you and he's beating up on you. So you tell him, I'm not chopped liver. Don't think you can just step all over me. Our biggest enemy, this week's parsha, he says to la milchama alevecha. All the Mefarshim, the Chofetz Chaim talks about barichas. Face it, who is our enemy? Who is our ultimate biggest enemy? The Yetzer Hara. And it's a battle. And it's a battle forever. It's a battle. As long as a person is alive, it's a battle. But you know what? A person has to be able to say to his Yetzer Hara, I'm not chopped liver. You're strong, you're powerful, You put a lot of persuasion into me, but I'm not nobody. And for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to control the situation. And for the next 5 minutes, I'm controlling the situation. My Yitzhahara is not doing anything to me because I'm in charge for the next 5 minutes. When that 5 minutes is up, so whatever it is, many times the Yitzhahara is gone. Many times he pushes another 5 minutes. It's a battle. It's a constant battle. But every drop that we win, every day that we win, every davening that we daven a drop better is a victory. Yesterday wasn't so good, and who knows what tomorrow is going to be like, but right now there's a victory over here. And that's how a person has to focus. I saw brought down a medrash, and I can't find it. I'm trying to track back where it is, but it's a fascinating medrash. The Torah says, "Va'ish Moshe Onav Ma'oid Mikol Ad Mashal Pnei Adam." Moshe Rabbeinu was the biggest honor. Somebody talks about it. Moshe Rabbeinu was the biggest honor. He knew that he was the greatest. He knew that he went to Shemayim and he got a Torah from Hashem. It's not really a problem. It's not a problem because there's nothing to do with our nivus. But okay, we're not going to go into it. But there's a medrash that says like this: that Moshe Rabbeinu, the Moshe showed him every generation. That medrash you all know. Hashem showed Moshe Rabbeinu dar shav dar manhigov. Hashem showed Moshe Rabbeinu all the generations till the end. So Moshe Rabbeinu saw the generations of the end, like sort of where we are now before Mashiach comes. And Moshe Rabbeinu said like this. But listen to what I want to say to you. Do you know what a Yid felt like 100 years ago when he woke up in the morning? Do you know what a Yid felt like 300 years ago when he woke up in the morning? He couldn't wait to get Negelwasser. He couldn't wait to say Moidani before Negelwasser. He couldn't wait to put on his tefillin. He couldn't wait to go to shul. He was so excited. That's really how it was. The regular Parsha Yid was that way. We get up in the morning. I mean, let's face it. If it's a good day, you watch Negelwasser, you say brachas, you come to daven, you put on your tefillin. How much feeling do we have? How much connection do we really have? When Moshe Rabbeinu, the Medrash says, saw our generations, and he said, these Yidden are getting up in the morning, and they're under a comfortable blanket, and they kick off the blanket, they wash Negelwasser, they go to shul, they put on the tefillin, they put on the talis, they're davening. How much connection is there? But they're doing it. Moshe Rabbeinu, so to say, felt little compared to our generations that we have somehow the power to pull ourselves to the Rabbeinu Shalom. It's an unbelievable thing. It's an unbelievable thing. And if you think about it, it's really true. It's really, really true. It's beyond comprehension. Rav Shmuel Birnbaum used to tell us that if you tell a goy the way a Yid lives his life, he would swear, he'd say it all the time in the shmuzin, he would swear by anything that's choshev, that's important to him, that it's a lie. A goy is never going to believe the way a Yid lives his life. He cannot comprehend it. You really live this way? You have such power over yourself? You're really so connected to your Torah and to your mitzvahs of Hashem? So Shmuel Birnbaum would tell us there's no way that a goy is going to believe you when you tell him how you live your life. And it's true, because it's really ununderstandable. So a person has to know that it's a struggle. And we're only 2 weeks before Rosh Hashanah, and we have to feel, on the one hand, I just hold your Rosh Hashivas, it's not much repeated to you, not I'll share it with you. There's a fellow I see in Satmar all the time, I daven in Satmar a lot, and he's always happy. He's just always happy, and he's relich and this. And I don't know how to read it. Like, what are you so happy about? I don't know. Today, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to tell you. There's an expression, how you doing? Amazing. And I think to myself, what's so amazing? That's what I think. You're so amazing? What's so amazing? Hashem, I'm doing okay. How you doing? Amazing. I don't understand that. This guy is like he flies in the sky. And I look at him and I don't know how to deal with him. But the other day I come at the Satmar night from Myra, and he's standing in the hall, and he's a married guy with a wife and kids. And I look at him. He says it's almost hookers. I don't know. It's true, it's almost so good, but we have to face the Rosh Hashanah, we got to face the Yom Kippur. Hashem gave us a present. It's a time for us to get close and to straighten up and to do what we need to do. So I don't know. I really don't know what to say. But you have to know that every drop that we do, every little drop that we do, has an incredible impact. And you have to know how choshev, how valuable it is. The fact that we're sitting over here now and you're not someplace else on a Thursday night after a whole week of going through a week and you're eating cholent and you're sitting and listening to somebody talk to you, it's beyond comprehension that this is going on. And you have to have chizuk from it, you have to have strength from it, and you have to know that it's very valuable. Okay, I prepared a whole drasha. I didn't say one word of it, but I'm not going to say it because I can't be too long. But I do want to tell you one thing which I can't resist. See, really, your yeshiva called me up, I should come talk last week. And it just didn't work out. I couldn't come last week. But as soon as you call, I'm here. I'd love to come here. So I said, good. So then he called me. Yesterday he called me, and I said right away, yes, it's wonderful. And you said that you love Kiseitzi, your best parsha. My best Rashi in the whole Chamisha Chumshe Torah is in Parshas Kiseitzi. And I want to share it with you. There are various different nations of the Goyim. I'm finished, Lachim. I'm finished. Give me 2 more minutes. 1 more minute. There are various different nations of the Goyim. And every nation has a different procedure when we're allowed to let them come into Klal Yisrael. A regular nation, they become Gerim, they can marry at the Klal Yisrael. Mitzrayim, 3 generations. Ammon and Moab can't come into Klal Yisrael. Those 2 nations are not allowed into Klal Yisrael. So Rashi says, why is that? Because Ammon and Moab tried and succeeded to a degree to get Klal Yisrael to sin. So because they did that, they're not welcome into Klal Yisrael. So I want to read you a little Rashi. So Rashi says like this, that these nations, right away, these nations, 3 generations. But Ammon and Moab, they can't come into Klal Yisrael. Now listen to this. Mitzrayim, they threw our babies into the river, and they can come into Klal Yisrael. And Ammon and Moab is worse than that. So listen to what Rashi says. Edom, they came with a sword against us, so we don't hate them so much. Mitzrayim, they threw our babies into the water. We deal with them. They were our hosts during the time of our Golas and so on. But you know what happened to Ammon and Moab? They tried to make us sin. So Rashi says like this. Ammon and Moab. Ve'elu shechtiyam, but Ammon and Moab that made us sin, listen, Bachar. Nisabu, we hate them. You know why? Because Godol hamachtiyoi yoisem in a hargoy. Someone who makes a Jew sin, chas v'shalom, is worse than someone who kills him. Okay, now you know why? Now listen, this is what I want to tell you now. So Rashi says, ha-hargoy ba'olam hazeh. If someone kills somebody else, he killed him in this world. But the guy comes to Shemayim, you may have, a lot of paradise waiting for him. Machtiyoi, now what would you think? So he makes him lose Eilam Haba. You know what Rashi says? Ha-machtiyoi moitzioi, he takes him out. You know from where? Ma'olam hazeh u'me'olam haba. This is my favorite Rashi. Someone who makes another person sin, he doesn't kill him, but he takes him out, he excludes him, not only from Olam Haba, he excludes him from this world. You know why? And I'm going to tell you something that we all know. We know it from the depth of our heart, but we just have to face it. Somebody learns, somebody davens, someone's an Elohim, he has a wonderful, happy life. The more a person struggles with himself spiritually, the more miserable his life is. So someone who makes a Yid sin, you know why he's so bad? Not only because he takes him out of Olam Haba, But his mitziyah ma'olam hazeh takes him out of this world. It's in our best interest. And that's why you fellows are here and you do this and you stay strong, and it's a wonderful thing. I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to come here and to meet you fellows again. I'm very, very impressed. They say there's an expression in Yiddish, a guest of Havayel zet a mile. A person who's a guest for a little bit, he sees a mile long. Someone who comes every day, they used to say it about the World Trade Center. Today you're going to say it about the Empire State Building. But how do you know who's a guest in Manhattan and who lives there? The guy who just walks down the blocks. But the guy who walks like this and is looking, you know that he doesn't live in Manhattan. He becomes, he's looking, wow, look at these skyscrapers. You're used to yourself. You're used to your environment. You don't realize how great it is. You should have a good yard, and we should all be strong. From here to Rosh Hashanah, it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks is so many days, and it's so many hours, and it's so much this. And like I say, I'm not chopped liver. Every time you fight and you win 5 minutes, it's another 5 minutes under your belt. And we should be zeichet, a good gebench to yar, and we should succeed in everything that we do. Thank you very much.